Hello and welcome to your Monday morning stretch class. Good to have you with me, whether you're joining along live or whether this is on catch up a little bit later. But thank you for taking part in this stretch class, and hopefully by the end of it you will feel loosened off, mobilized and ready to face the rest of your day. So we've got a whole body stretch for you today. You're not going to need any specific equipment, but we are going to go down onto the floor a little bit later on in the routine. We'll be doing some child poses, and then we're coming on to lay on our side. So for the child's pose, you might want a cushion or a pillow just to block the gap between your bottom and your heels. And then when we come onto the side lying section, something to rest your head onto would be ideal. So if you can scramble and just grab yourself a cushion or a pillow, something like that would be really useful. There are alternatives if that isn't handy for you right now. I've got my little block there, which I'll be using later. With all of the movements, if anything that we do gives you any pain or discomfort, then I want you to modify or stop what you're doing. If you feel unwell, make sure you stop. And if you're exercising alone, it's a really good idea to have a method of communication nearby, telephone or something handy, just in case you need to reach out for any help. So with all of that out of the way, let's begin. We're going to start in a standing position with your feet at about hip width apart. And if you can just let your arms hang heavy at the side of your body. So the weight of the arms is going to pull the shoulders away from your ears. Feel the soles of your feet connect to the floor and pull up through the crown of the head, so you're making your spine as long as you can. Now, nice and simple, we're just going to swing the body, rotate, let the arms stay in that nice heavy hang. So we're getting momentum to take some of the movement. You can let your head just follow the direction of the movement as well. And we'll just do this for 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then we come into center. A little bit of a bigger arm movement now. It's got my words all muddled up. So a little bit of a bigger movement with the arms is what I was trying to say. I want you to take a big breath in, take the arms out, palms face forward, spread the fingers and raise the eye line, and release, come back down. Good, so sync that movement with your breath. We'll do 3 more. Open the chest. Fix the feet into the floor and make your spine long. 1 last one. Great stuff, well done. Now if you can take your feet just a little bit wider apart than we had them in that hip width distance. Hands onto your hips. And we're going to keep the feet where they are. Try and keep the chest lifted and the head pretty much where it is. But then I just want you to shift your hips over to one side. So you're kind of wiggling your bottom off to one side. Come back up in the middle. Let's try that to the other side. So just shift the hips over. Good. And come back up. Now you might find you've got one side that feels a little bit more stiff than the other. That's okay. Just notice it and we can work into that stretch. So keep alternating side to side. It's as if you sort of ribs slide one way, hips slide the other. Come in the middle. Let's swap over again. Ribs go one way, hips go the other. Now we're going to increase that stretch when we do it next time. So ribs are one way, hips are the other. And you're going to lean into that a little bit more. If you want to, you can add your arm into the stretch. So we elongate you even further. Good, let's come back in the center. And then we do the other side. So hip shift one way, torso goes the other way. And you can lean into that stretch. Good, lovely. Let's do 1 more each side. So we shift and we lean. Good, over the other way. A shift and a lean, lengthen and elongate. Good, and then we're going to come back into center. Going for a little bit more of a forward movement now. I'm going to come on a little diagonal so you can see what I want you to do, which would be to bend the knees, still got that nice wide stance. And then we're going to rest your elbows onto your thighs. Tuck the head underneath, so we're rounding the spine a little bit, and then just see if you can push your knees a wee bit straighter. They don't have to be completely straight, but just a wee bit straighter. Now on one side, doesn't matter which one you choose, but I want you to straighten that leg. So you're going to push the leg back, feeling as big a stretch as you can tolerate up the back of that leg. On the same side as your straight leg, you're going to use the arm to sweep up and look up to the ceiling. Good. Come down, soften the knees again, and then we're going to hang heavy in the middle. So let the arms hang loose, chin is down to the chest, send your tailbone up to the ceiling a little bit, and then uncurl, come all the way up to the standing position. Now, remember which leg you straightened and which side you twisted to, because we're going to do the other side now. So we're taking a soft bend in the knees, and we're leaning forwards, curving the spine with the elbows resting onto the thighs and the head hanging heavy. Just see if you can send the knees a little bit back. And then the opposite side to the one we worked on last time, you're going to straighten that leg all the way back. Push it back, push it back. Head hangs heavy. The arm on the same side as the straight leg is going to sweep up, and you look up at that hand. Good. Lovely. Back into that fold. Now let the head and arms hang heavy. Push the tailbone up to the ceiling and uncurl through your spine. Brilliant, well done. Okay, we're going to make our way down onto the mat now, and you've got a couple of options. You can either just go down onto your hands and knees, or you can try and work through a downward dog position. So I'm going to demonstrate the version working through downward dog. If you know that that's not for you, then just make your way down onto all fours. There's a chair nearby if you need to use your hands, a little bit of assistance to get onto the floor. So whatever is safe and comfortable for you. If you're going to do downward dog, we start here, we drop chin to chest, we roll down through the spine, sliding the hands down the legs to the feet, and then with bending the knees if you need to, the hands are going to go to the floor, and you're going to walk your hands out, and we're going to take a little pause in this triangle position here, your downward dog, and then you can continue to walk your hands forwards, bend the knees, and we should all meet in our tabletop position or 4-point position here. Spread the hands out. So splay the fingers a little bit. Shoulders going over the wrists, hips over the knees, and your toes tucked underneath if that's possible. We're then going to go into a cat stretch. So I want you to drop the breastbone to the floor, raise your eye line, and stick your bottom up in the air. So we get that nice long stretch there. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then take a breath in, and as you do that, round the spine, like you're trying to look at your belly button, pull the shoulder blades apart, and then we'll go back to that original position, drop in the breastbone, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then opposite way around, pull the shoulder blades apart, look at your belly button, and repeat. Sync the movement with your breath. A nice big inhale as you curve your spine, and an exhale as you round the back. Inhale, drop the breastbone, arch the back. Exhale, curve and round. 2 more. The last one. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as you arch the back, and then we release. Okay, now we're going into that child's pose, which is where you drop the bottom to the heels and slide the arms out in front of you. If it's a little bit uncomfortable to get your bottom all the way to your knees, to your heels rather, then you can use a little block or a cushion as I'm showing you here now, just to bridge that gap and allow you to sink back a little bit further into the stretch. Just go with whatever feels most comfortable for you. And then once you're done there, we're going to come back to that 4-point position. We're going to take a little bit more of a stretch through the back of your leg and your calf. So you've got a couple of options here. You can either stay with straight elbows, but that can be a little bit uncomfortable on the wrists. So if that is the case, you can drop down onto your forearms instead. Whatever you've chosen as your start position there, you're going to take one leg out behind you and take that out straight. Then you're going to press into the heel, excuse me, pressing into the heel, so that you feel a big pull and a stretch up the back of your calf. And then you can kind of move forward, move back into it. Remembering you can be up straight elbows or down on the forearms. But just kind of work through this a little bit. Pushing forward and back. Lengthening into your calf. Drop the hip on that straight leg side. So we're not twisted and lifted here. We're going to let that drop down. Really working into it. Good. And then if you bring that foot back in, you can then do the same on the other side. Wriggle your wrists, loosen off the shoulders if you need to, and then we'll come back to that same start position. So leg goes up, other leg goes back now. Straight knee, push back, and release. Can you hear my ankles cracking? I'm not a good advert, am I? To drop the hip on the straight leg side. Loosen into the calf. Elongating through the foot. Lovely stuff. Let's just go a couple more. Marvellous. And then we're into that child's pose position again. So using the block if you need to modify, lengthen the arms out. And then this time, take a little bit of a twist with it. So drop the shoulder on one side, then the other side, using a little bit more rotation in the body. If you've got an area that feels like it's a little bit more snuggy, a little bit tighter, then you just stay with that bit and ease into it, breathing into the stretch, relaxing into the stretch. Okay, great. Let's bring you back up to 4-point position again. And we're going to work on thread the needle. So this is that one where we need a nice wide base of support. So take your knees about the width of the mat and spread your hands out so we've got a nice firm strong base. You're going to feed one hand between your arm and your leg, so through that gap in the middle, and slide the hand down along the floor. Bend your supporting arm, twisting the torso, you're trying to drop the shoulder towards the floor. Brilliant, now we come up, that arm that's just been feeding through, I want you to lift it up, look up at the ceiling, look up at the hand. Good, bring that arm back down and through again. Feed it round, twist and lengthen, uncurl, and up to the ceiling. One more this side, down we go. Feeding the arm through. Good. Open and elongate. Excellent, come down. Just take the pressure off the wrists and shoulders and let's get ready to do exactly the same thing on the other side. So nice strong wide base of support. We're feeding the arm round and then lifting up. Come on then, let's get into that. So nice wide base of support. Shoulders over wrists, hips are over the knees, and then you're going to take the arm, feed it through, slide it along the floor, bend the supporting arm, drop your shoulder towards the mat, and then open out in the opposite direction. Look up at the hand. Good, go again. Feed the arm down, through, and slide along the floor. Lift, open and look up. So we're on a straight line, fingertips down towards the hand on the floor. Let's do one more here, feeding it through. Stretch out. Open up. Looking up at that top hand. Fantastic, well done. Okay, come into a seated position now. We're going to make our way down into a sideline position. So this is where I want you to have your block or your pillow to rest your head onto. If you haven't got that nearby, you can just use your hand as a pillow. That works just as well. So we're going to come over onto our side, resting the head up onto your pillow block cushion, and your knees are going to be slightly bent. Both arms out in front, so they're like a crocodile there, straight arms out at shoulder height. Now we're going to sweep the top arm up and round. Try and keep the knees together. If you haven't got enough room, like I haven't at the moment, you can bend the elbow So we're just turning the shoulders so they're trying to face up to the ceiling. Keep your top hip forward and then bring the arms back over. Now, if that felt fairly comfortable, you might have been aware of perhaps rolling the hips back a little bit. If you're able to, bring your knee down onto the floor in front of you. So that's going to give you a little bit more stretch in the outer thigh, and it also makes sure that you don't roll your hips back, because I need you to keep this knee down on the floor. Let's come up and round again. Follow the hand, turn and look over your shoulder as you open the front of the chest, twisting through the spine. Come back round and through. Good, let's do a few more of those. So we take a breath in as we sweep the arm up, and then out as you go round. In to hold that stretch, and then out to pull yourself back over. We're going to go 2 more of these. So breath in, prepare. Breath out as you swoop the arm round. Breath in and hold it. And out, go back over. Let's do that last time. In as you prepare. Out as you go round into the stretch. In to hold it. And out to come back round and over. Fantastic, well done. Now, whilst you're on your side here, let's stack those legs back up on top of one another if you have the knee down on the floor. And we're going to try and open you out across the front of the hip a little bit here. So we keep the hips stacked, but I want you to try and grab a hold of your foot or the back of your sock or your trouser leg or anywhere that you can get hold of. And then you're going to squeeze the heel towards the bottom. Once you've got that in place, then we're going to try and take the knee back. So we're really opening out along the front of the thigh. Squeeze your bum cheeks together, and that's going to increase the stretch that you feel across the front of the leg. Good. Shoulders relaxed, hold it there. Good. And then release. We're going to bring you up and over to the other side. So you may want to just turn around and face the back, and you can listen to me. Or you can flip over so that you're on the other side, and you can still see the screen and see what I want you to do. So whatever you feel most comfortable with. We're going to start off with an arm opening, both knees bent, hips stacked up on top of each other. At the moment, knees are stacked up as well. We can drop the knee down later if you want to. Let's just do this first one with the knees stacked though. So arms out in front, squeeze the shoulder blades together, chest open. Take a breath in, prepare, and a breath out as you open round, making sure you've got enough room behind you. And then come back over. So you can bend your elbow and shorten the lever if you need to, or you can go with legs straight. Other option is you can drop this knee down onto the floor. So if you haven't done that already and you want to, if you can get into that position, but the movement remains the same, a breath in to prepare and a breath out as you open round. In to hold and out to come back over. I definitely can't get as far on this side as I can on the other, but we're going to keep working into it. 2 more. In, prepare. Out as you go round. In and hold. Out and come over. This one's the last one. So in, prepare. Out and we go round. In and hold. Out and over. Great stuff, well done. Now to open out the front of your hip a little bit. So we're going to bring the legs so that they're stacked up on top of one another once more. Going to grab a hold of my foot. You might want to get your sock, your heel, your shin, back of your trouser leg, whatever you can manage. But you're going to squeeze your heel towards your bottom as best as you can. Then push the thigh backwards so that you're opening out along the front of the thigh. And if you can also squeeze your bottom cheeks together. Good, feel that nice long stretch up the back of the leg. At the front of the leg, I mean. Back of the leg wouldn't work. Up the front. Hold it there for a little longer. Good. And release. Now you're going to gently push yourself up into a seated position. And ideally, I want you in this Z sit where you've got one leg in front, other leg swooped out behind. If this isn't comfortable for you, then you can sit with both legs out in front. Try and get both bottom cheeks down towards the floor if you need to open that back leg a little bit for that to happen. Or you can use your block, your pillow, which you have nearby, just to help get you a little bit more purchase onto the floor. Once you've got yourself into that position, we're going to take a mermaid stretch, which is an up and over one way, and an up and over the other way. And when you lean towards your front leg, as I'm doing now, you'll feel it's a little bit easier than when you lean away from it towards the back leg. Both movements are good. They're lengthening, stretching and elongating bits of your body that you perhaps didn't know you needed to. Keep working into the stretch on either side. Use your breath. So out as you go into it. You can take an in and a hold as you then prepare to come out. And go at whatever pace suits you for this one. So if you want to pause at the end of the range for a little bit longer, you can. If you're happy to keep it just sort of flowing round, then that's an option too. Okay, once we're done here, if you're still happy in this Z-sit, this mermaid position, then I want you to walk your hands forwards, nodding the chin to the chest, and if you can sort of fold the arms down and see if you can get a little bit deeper into that hip stretch. You might feel it in and around your lower back. That's definitely where I'm feeling it right now. And then uncurl and come back up. Right, we're going to do this to the other side now. So we swing the legs over so that you've now got them the opposite way around to how we had them before. You may still be happier with both legs out in front. You may want to sit up on your block just to get yourself a little bit more lift, a little bit more purchase down to the ground, aiming to have both bottom cheeks sinking towards the floor. And then we go into our up and over. So when you're leaning towards the back leg, will possibly feel a little bit freer than when you're leaning towards the front side. Good. Whatever you notice in terms of which side might feel tighter, looser, then just work into what feels best for you. You can pause in the stretch, or you can keep it flowing like I'm showing you here now. Play around with the twist on the movement. Just pick what feels best for your body right now. We'll just do a couple more to each side. And then once you've gone over, finish that movement that you're on, you're going to come back up into the middle and walk your hands forwards, maybe folding the elbows, dropping the chin down to the chest, but trying to push both bottom cheeks down towards the floor. Good. Uncurl. And then you're going to bring yourself back into a 4-point position for me. So, blocks and cushions away if you've been using them. And then back into that 4-point position where we are once again going to go into our cat stretches. So we curve and round just like we did towards the start of the session. Release out in the opposite direction. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Raise the eye line. And again, curl and round. And release. We'll do 2 more. And then next is to make our way back up into standing. So you can either just make your way up as comfortably and carefully as you need to. If you're happy to join me through a downward dog again, then we will push through the hands, toes tucked underneath, and we send the tailbone up towards the ceiling. I would hope this might feel a little bit easier than the one we did at the start of the session. If you can, let's just pause here, sink the heels towards the floor, relax the shoulders, relax the head, and then paddle the legs a little bit. Walking the dog. One heel up, one heel down. 3, 2, 1. Just be still there for a moment before you walk your hands back towards your feet and curl into a nice strong standing position with the chest open, and then just find a little bit of space in the center of your mat with your feet about hip width apart, letting the arms rest down by your side. Roll the shoulders up and back so that you slide the shoulder blades down behind you. Gently tighten between the belly button and the breastbone, and I want you to take your ear over to the shoulder one side, keeping the collarbones parallel to the floor. Good, back in the center, ear to the shoulder on the other side. Back in the center, take your hands behind your back, push the hands towards the floor, nod the chin down towards the chest, collarbones wide. And then we gently roll the head back up into that neutral center position. Let the arms release with the weight of the arms pulling down. Lift up through the crown of the head. Sink your heels in towards the floor. And that is your stretch and mobility routine complete. Thank you so much for joining me.